Hello and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. Thank you for coming and joining me here, and let us walk around the garden and look at what is blooming. I specifically want to take you to the upper gardens in the front, the both sides of the house, the left and the right side borders, and I also want to look at the vegetable garden and show you how it is growing and expanding here in my New England garden. Yeah, I am in the Northeast in the Boston area, a neighborhood within the Boston area, and we are zone 6. Yeah, we're zone 6 garden. And we've been experiencing heat, but this morning we got so much rain, and the garden is still holding up even now at noontime. So let's walk around and enjoy my garden. Yeah, and please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to Catherine's Garden and Home. Hit the like button and hit the notification bell for more. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, this is a Sunday morning, so come on and walk with me. It just rained early morning here in the garden, and even yesterday it was raining, so the garden is well saturated. Things are looking great. There's nothing like rain from heaven. You know that song, Melodies from Heaven Rain Down on Me? Well, the blessings that are in the garden, it's raining down, and it's rained down on my garden, and everything is just plump and alive and looking good on this Sunday morning. What a blessing. And the rain wasn't bad on my beautiful oriental lilies. I can see the last lily bloom at the top there, that it is opening up. So we're going into a new phase here in my garden in July, because we're in the middle of July. And everything is just looking so good. I'm amazed at how the rain just causes anything that you put in the ground to want to grow. Look at this. I believe that this is a pumpkin. This is a pumpkin, and look at how it's growing. The leaves are large, and there are flowers, so that means that we're going to have pumpkins developing here, and it is just trailing down. I just wanted to trail down, and it could take up this space that's behind this patch here and just produce pumpkins for me. And what I am amazed about too is the corn. The corn was very, small just a couple of weeks ago, and now look at it. It has grown substantially, and we're going to soon see it reach really good heights here. And it is getting enough sun, and with the rain coming, it's getting the nutrients that it needs from the rain. And then I also planted these butternut squash here, and we can see that they too are getting much larger, gaining new leaves here. And I am just excited about this garden bed. Now, I don't know what this particular plant is, and for some reason I feel it is a zucchini plant because of how it's growing. It looks like a zucchini. What do you think? You think it's a zucchini too? Let me know in the comment section. This side of the garden. This is called my naturalistic side, at least that's what I call it. And these shrubs that you see here are at least 25 years old. This is when I first started gardening and built up this side border. I wanted that natural look, and I planted these shrubs. I remember getting the shrubs from Home Depot. They were just 1 gallon plants, and I wanted to make sure that I had a beautiful border here filled with plants that I wouldn't have to replant, give the bones, that would give the bones to this side of the garden and act as a naturalistic wall. So this is arborvitae that you see there, and the variegated euonymus. Now those different perennial things, I don't know what it is, but it just naturally was here and kept growing, and I just love how it looks. But then I have my rose bush here, and this rose bush is a Rosa rugosa, white alba, and it sporadically gives blooms throughout the season. And then it has beautiful rose hips that develop on the rose, and they turn red. Beautiful rose hips here. Let me see if I can find some more to show you. And it fits in so nicely here in this bed. I love this bed because it has such diversity in texture. It has small leaves, it has large leaves, variegated leaves, deep green from the arborvitae, and then just strapping leaves from the zebra grass, which is also very variegated itself. You can see the variegation in the leaves here, which is absolutely beautiful, and it partners so well with the euonymus. I have some volunteer trees there from my neighbor's tree. The maple that you see there, I didn't plant that, that was a volunteer. But I've been trying to keep it trimmed down. You can see another one here. Trimmed down because they get really large, and I don't want to have to cut down the tree, you know. That could be a very expensive venture. What I like about this side borders is that it is evolving, because we started out with the food bed, vegetables. Now we're looking at the shrubs, this naturalistic style, and now we're heading into what I call my urban cottage garden area with the sunflowers. But before we get there, we have the knockout roses here, that it's actually the entryway, or just shifting the look of this area, this side garden, with the beautiful knockout roses that are developing. Now you could see there was another knockout rose there, and it was red, but what happened was that a cold freeze came and killed the rose bush and it died back. But then it decided to sprout and to come forth again, and so now I'm going to have a blend of roses here, of pink and red roses. I just planted this knockout rose this year. Got the plant from Costco and planted it here, and it's doing very, very well. But soon there's going to be a blend of pink and red, and that's going to be very interesting in this spot. Behind it is my lilac bush, and it was beautiful in the spring, giving spring interests. So let us look at this upper garden area, which I call my urban cottage garden, English style cottage garden, with these beautiful sunflowers and native plants. But also it has a lot of color with the bee balm and the butterflies, hummingbirds. Oh, the hummingbirds love the bee balm. I also have my different annuals growing here, and they are just looking healthy and good. You can see here that the cosmos, they self-seeded themselves from last year to the bachelor buttons. A lot of the plants here are seeds or plants that have self-sown. The purple perella self-sowed from last year as well. And then, but I planted the vinca, which are very happy here, and they're adding such great color. I have 4 clocks there, and yes, I have a squash plant that's growing there, butternut squash. My hope is that it will grow, and then I can use the shrubs, which I've done in the past, these shrubs back here, to be like a natural trellis in the late summer for the squash, so that the squash is not on the ground. I just love this front side border now when it is flowering, and actually I love it throughout each season, because in the springtime we have the tulips, and then later we have the alliums in this bed with the lilacs, and then we have the summer border. And this one is beautiful. It is so different, and each year it's a different border. But this year it's definitely being dominated by the hydrangeas, which this is a propagated hydrangea bush that I did. And it's in its full prime right now. It's about 5 years old. Just beautiful. And if you are interested in knowing how I did this, I did a premiere at the beginning of the year on hydrangeas and how I had propagated the hydrangea. And this is bridal bouquet. Now, because it gets a lot more sun, the leaves are a little bit, the flower heads are a little bit crispy, but this is what it looks like. It's so beautiful. The fresh blooms that are coming here, that's what it looks like. And it has just been blooming and blooming and spreading out in this corner. I'm just loving it. my Chasta daisies are over, and I'm debating if I should cut the flower heads here of the Chasta daisy, or if I should leave it and save the seeds so that I can sprinkle them out and put them in different parts of the garden. So I'm in that kind of mode, but I think I'm going to save the seeds and then cut it back, trim it back. So I have this plant here. It's like a shrub. It's growing like a shrub, and it's a wild thing. It's kind of invasive a bit, but I keep cutting it back. But I do love its structure, and I love its natural look here. So I don't know. I'll think about what I want to do next with it. But I definitely am enjoying the bee balm in this, and seeing the sedum coming up here too as well. It's just a beautiful thing. Yeah, this bed is really filled with perennials and self-seeding plants that I have not seeded, but I planted before. For here we have the echinacea that has filled out here, and I planted this from seed about 10 years ago, and it just keeps coming back, which is so good. It's really good to see. I've left some of the seed heads for the ambassador. No, this is the gladiator allium, because I want it to self-seed and to spread and fill this area. I decided to plop 2 pots of zinnias, and this is one right there, and here is the other, because I've been trying to direct sow the seeds of the zinnias in this garden bed, and I'm just not getting great success, but they're growing in the pot. So I've decided to leave them in the pot and let them just grow up in here in this garden bed. And because it's high enough, we're going to be able to see the zinnia flowers. So that is something to look forward to, my zinnias, because look at it. It has the flower heads starting to bloom, starting to come up. That is so good. I think I'm going to just leave it. I was going to move out one of the pots, but I think that this is going to just add great color right here, especially when the bee balm is finished. But then the bee balm is giving some new growth here. So yeah, we're going to have that color. I just want the color to stay in this garden bed. Now, what I love about these sunflowers is because they're multi-headed. They don't just have one head, one flower, but they have multiple flowers. And I got the seeds from the Dollar Tree. I know these are Dollar Tree sunflower seeds. And last year, one plant came up, and it was this. And so this that mother plant self-seeded, and now these are volunteers. Isn't that a wonderful volunteer? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants, and each of these plants are giving out these flowers. Look at this one here. Absolutely beautiful. In this front border, the front of the house, I planted the zucchini plants because they will get plenty of sun, and it just seems to love this area. And look at how large it is. It's basically one plant, actually two there, but this one is huge, and it has already been producing. I've already harvested 2 zucchinis from it. And then if we look inside, you're going to see that it's already developing. You see that? Developing zucchinis. So I'm going to have quite a few zucchinis, and I have to make sure that I catch them because they can get so huge. Look at all of them. And the bees just love it up here with the zucchini. Look at the size of the leaves. I really love how the zucchini plant looks. To me, it's like a featured plant. Right here in the front side, I planted the butternut squash, and they're growing really well here. And I also planted the peppers, and they are just doing fine. Along with that, I planted the kale. Yeah, these kale are from my seeds that I saved from last year's sowing of kale. And I saved the seeds and planted them out in another part of the garden, and then transplanted them here in this section with the peppers. And we have been harvesting them. They look so good. We've been harvesting them steadily. And I planted in between nasturtium. My nasturtium is growing up here to be like a cash crop. Hopefully the bugs will be attracted to the nasturtium and give my beautiful kale a chance to grow. I also planted in different types of peppers. I have jalapeno peppers, but then I have bell peppers, red bell peppers here, and they are growing. I actually harvested the peppers already, because who doesn't want to eat a crunchy pepper from the garden in their salad? So I've already been harvesting the peppers, but it's good to see them developing here in this area. Now this one is going to get stuck between the stems, but there are a lot of buds here, a lot of buds on the pepper plants. So I believe that they're going to be very, very prolific this year, and that we're going to get a good pepper harvest. Last year I didn't get as many peppers, and I didn't give the pepper plants the space that it needed to grow. But this year I learned my lesson well, and they have plenty of room to grow and to get a lot of sun, because this is the sunny side of the, and they will get plenty of sun, plenty of heat. And I'm watering them, and with Mother Nature watering, plus there's good compost in this bed, so the peppers are going to do just fine. My hydrangeas are still looking good, even though they've been a little bit overwhelmed by the heat. They still are looking good here under the partial shade. This is the other side of the house. This is the south side. And you could see the sun that is over there peeping. It's rising in the east and it's going to set in the west. And this is the south side. And the garden here, this is my kitchen garden area. It is just loving it. It gets enough shade from the hedge here so that it's not too much sun, but it's getting just enough morning sun and afternoon sun. It's a little shaded, so it's not overwhelming. And then the fact that this land kind of slopes downward, the water, when it rains, rests right here. And as you can see, I have cardboard there because I had laid this area with cardboard and compost and on top, and then I planted the seedlings in the compost, and this is what it is producing. You can see my beautiful okra. It's getting larger, and what I want to create here is a okra hedge. And there's two different types of okra. It's the spineless okra right here, this, and then this is a different type. I don't remember the name right now, but yeah, it's two different okras. And then I have in that container there, that's cinnamon basil, which is growing well. And then I have my pumpkins. Those are the sweet pumpkins that you can see there, and it's already starting to flower. So that means that I'm going to get pumpkins. But what has really excited me is the corn. Last year I planted the corn here in this location. They did very well. But the problem was that I had so many pumpkins, and the pumpkins pulled down the corn, and I ended up not being able to harvest the corn real easily. Well, behind the corn is the inner section of the kitchen garden area, and I'm able to get to the corn. So this year that is not going to be happening. And then I made myself this little entryway here that I can get in and I can step in. And this year I also planted eggplants. Do you see that eggplant? Yeah, that's eggplant. I have like 5 eggplants plants there, and they're doing fantastic with a few peppers. And whatever's in this area, they're loving their life. I have cucumbers, and I've been trellising them, and they have just growing. I've been harvesting the cucumbers already, and the cucumbers are just so crunchy and delicious. I have the pickling cucumbers. I love the pickling cucumbers for individual salads, and I also have the larger market-sized cucumbers and these seeds are from the Dollar Tree. Yeah, Dollar Tree seeds, fantastic. And then I have planted in around these plants marigolds, and the marigolds are from seeds that I saved from last year. And I just want to let everybody know the power of saving seeds. You can multiply your garden with just seeds that you save from the year before. And so these are marigold seeds from last year, and they are doing fantastic. And you know, marigolds are really good companion plants, so they are doing their thing. And then I have here dinosaur kale, and those seeds I got from Burpee. Those are Burpee seeds, and I started them as seedlings, and I planted them in different parts of this garden area. But I just want you to see what it looks like here. It's just fantastic, the growth. And with the rain that just happened, it is beautiful. I want to show you my snap peas. These snap peas were saved from last year. I had grown snap peas in the inner kitchen garden area, and I would just come out and eat the peas as I worked. And I missed a couple of them, so I saved the seeds and planted them in, and look at that. They are flowering. That means that I'm going to have peas to eat in my garden. And I had enough seeds to grow like a row of them here. And I have a fence that they're trellised on. And it's just beautiful to know that they're growing. You can see them developing. See that? The peas. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about being able to eat my snap peas. And remember that it's from seeds saved from last year. I do love this side of the garden. I really do. I call this my jewel garden, and it has just been fantastic, and it has evolved over time. But I really love it this year. I love the fact that I am being more particular about what I'm growing in this side of the garden. And because this gets all of the sun, of course the flowers are loving it. So this is the other side of the front. This is the front garden, but it's on the other side. And the rain has just really helped this garden to grow. Now my beautiful elephant ear is doing fantastic here. I saved the tubers from last year, and they're doing good, as well as the canna. And then I have a hydrangea, endless summer crush hydrangea, which was supposed to be red, but as you could tell, it's more of a blue, which is fine. But what I want to show you here are these cleome. These self-seeded from last year, and I love where they planted themselves, right here. So this is going to give some beautiful color, and it looks so good with the bee balm. I planted the bee balm, and it's just looking so good. The hummingbirds love this, and the bees. I'm going to end this video on this side this morning because it just looks so beautiful. The zinnia that I planted here are growing, and look at its color. The color looks so good with the spirea. They blend so well. And there's a lot going on in this bed here. We could see that the moonlight rose is reblooming. Today we are enjoying the last of the daylily, my ditch lily, but there's so much more coming to life here. I just love what I see. I have some cleome that are going to open up soon here, and then in this container I have cosmos and zinnias. I might move this container from this location, but for right now I'm just going to let it sit there. And then Yes, my perennial hibiscus. It's spreading out and it's loving it here, both of them. I have two of them. So definitely for August, this is going to be the showstopper. But for right now, there's enough color going on here. A lot of good things. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this walk with me here in my urban cottage garden. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together throughout this garden season of 2024. Have a wonderful afternoon and a great week. Bye.